You thought Chainsaw Man Season 1 was wild? Buckle up, because the actual chaos is only just beginning. Season 2 will be a roller coaster of assassins hunting Denji, soul-shattering betrayals, and the devastating reality of Makima's scheme. This is the season that goes off the rails. Can't wait for the enemy or need a refresher. We're dissecting the entire story. Yes, including the explosive Part 1 endgame. With Denji's identity as Chainsaw Man now exposed, the world turns its eyes toward Japan. The once unknown devil hunter is now an international target, and a global bounty is placed on his head. Governments, criminal organizations, and rogue mercenaries all see Denji as an opportunity, either as a weapon or a paycheck. The result, a blood-soaked fray, for all unlike anything seen before. The assassins arrive. Death comes from all sides. The Immortal Brothers, Yusa. At first glance, the three American assassins appear to be little more than reckless idiots playing at being movie action heroes. Their cartoonish bravado and flashy entrance make them seem harmless, but they have one major advantage. They cannot die. Their deal with the devil has granted them a twisted form of immortality, allowing them to return from the dead even after suffering fatal wounds. Their disguise abilities allow them to infiltrate Denji's ranks, striking from within. While they may seem comedic at first, their unpredictable nature makes them dangerous. Quanxi, China, known as the first devil hunter, Quanxi is a living legend. Her presence alone commands respect and fear, even among elite hunters like Kishibe, who once fought alongside her. Unlike most assassins, Quanxi does not work alone. She arrives with her personal Fiend harem, each member possessing terrifying abilities. With inhuman speed and surgical precision, she slices through opponents before they even realize they're dead. Unlike others who hunt Denji for profit, Quanxi's motivations remain unclear. She seems to have a deeper connection to the unfolding events, hinting at a past tied to Makima's schemes. Santa Claus, Germany, Russia, the most mysterious and disturbing figure in this battle royale. Santa Claus is not a single person, but a puppet master, controlling multiple bodies from the shadows. Her horrifying doll devil abilities allow her to convert anyone she touches into her mindless slave, creating a vast army of disposable deadly puppets. Even worse, she doesn't just control individuals. She can spread her influence like a virus, turning entire city blocks into her personal weapons. However, her true goal is far more sinister than simply killing Denji. She has a secret contract with a force beyond human comprehension, one that will soon unleash a nightmare unlike anything Denji has faced before. What starts as a deadly game of cat and mouse in Tokyo erupts into an apocalyptic nightmare. Santa Claus, revealing her true form, sacrifices a group of innocent children in exchange for power, triggering a contract with the Hell Devil. In an instant, the battlefield changes. Denji, Aki, Power, Quanxi, the assassins, and even Makima's forces are all dragged into hell itself. What follows is pure horror. Trapped in an endless, featureless void, the devil hunters find themselves surrounded by a sky of infinite doors, a landscape of nightmares. The air is heavy with an overwhelming sense of doom, as if the very concept of fear has taken form. The weak immediately break down mentally, unable to process the sheer magnitude of where they are. And then it happens. A door slowly creaks open, and from the abyss, something falls, a single drop of darkness. The Darkness Devil has arrived. Unlike anything encountered before, the Darkness Devil does not move. It does not attack. It simply exists, and that alone is enough to kill. Veteran fighters like Quanxi and her entire harem are eviscerated in seconds, unable to even react. Power collapses, broken by sheer terror. The legendary Kishibe, watching from the outside, knows there is nothing anyone can do. Denji, Aki, and the others are completely powerless. But then, Makima makes her move. Unlike everyone else, Makima does not fear the Darkness Devil. She faces it without hesitation, silently communicating in a way no one else understands. While others tremble at its presence, Makima negotiates. But for what? What is her true goal? For the first time, her real powers put on full display. She summons a contract to bring herself back to the mortal realm, escaping hell while leaving others behind. She treats the entire event as a necessary sacrifice, further reinforcing the idea that she is playing a game far beyond anyone's comprehension. As Denji and the survivors are somehow returned to Earth, one thing becomes clear. Makima is not just a protector. She is a manipulator, a mastermind, a force of nature. And Denji is exactly where she wants him to be, broken, lost, and ready to be controlled. This arc sets the stage for everything that follows: Aki's transformation, Denji's ultimate collapse, and the final war against Makima. The Global Assassins arc is not just an action-packed bloodbath. It is the moment Denji's life is permanently altered. He just doesn't know it yet. And this is only the beginning. The Gun Devil, a name whispering fear, a being of pure destruction, finally appears, unleashing devastation on an unimaginable scale. The United States makes a contract with the Gun Devil, sacrificing 1 year of every American citizen's lifespan in exchange for its summoning. And in an instant, millions die. But in a twist no one sees coming, Makima does not fight the Gun Devil directly. Instead, she defeats it off-screen, revealing that the Gun Devil was never the true threat. Aki was. With the Gun Devil reduced to a weakened state, Makima takes control of its remains and fuses it with Aki. Aki Hayakawa, the man who spent his entire life hunting the Gun Devil, the man who swore vengeance for his family, the man who protected Denji in power as an older brother, becomes the very monster he despised. Now a gun fiend, Aki is no longer himself. He cannot think, cannot reason, cannot feel. He is just a living weapon, his body controlled by Makima, his actions dictated by the devil that slaughtered his loved ones. Makima orders gun fiend Aki to eliminate Denji, and the hunt begins. Denji is not prepared for this fight. He doesn't want to fight. He doesn't want to hurt Aki, but Aki doesn't hesitate. He opens fire, sending a hailstorm of bullets through the streets, decimating buildings and innocent bystanders alike. Denji has no time to mourn. He has to act, or people will die. What makes this battle truly heartbreaking is the way it is shown through Aki's perspective. In Aki's mind, he is not fighting Denji. He is not causing destruction. He is having a snowball fight with his little brother. But outside of his delusion, Denji is screaming, civilians are dying, and the world is burning. The contrast between Aki's innocent fantasy and the horrifying reality makes this one of the most emotionally devastating moments in Chainsaw Man. Denji tries everything to snap Aki out of it. He pleads. He hesitates. He refuses to go all out. But Aki is too far gone. And then the final moment comes. Aki, still trapped in his dream, sees Denji throwing a snowball back. But this time, Denji is crying. And Aki, finally realizing something is wrong, lowers his guard. With no other choice, Denji delivers the final blow. Aki dies at the hands of the one person who loved him like family. As the fight ends, Denji stands over Aki's lifeless body, covered in blood, completely empty inside. The future devil's prophecy has been fulfilled. Aki in power will be killed by Denji. And Makima? She orchestrated everything. She wanted this. She needed Denji to suffer. To break him completely. To strip away everything he cared about until he had nowhere else to turn, except to her. And it worked. Denji is broken. And Makima is just getting started. This scene shatters Denji emotionally and marks the turning point where Chainsaw Man shifts from a chaotic action story to a full-blown psychological tragedy. It is the moment where Denji loses everything. And from here on out, his nightmare only gets worse. With Aki dead and power gone, Denji is left utterly broken. He has no family, no dreams, no purpose. Lost and desperate, he turns to Makima, believing she is the only one left who can give him direction. And that's exactly what she wanted. This moment is Makima's victory, the culmination of her long and methodical plan. She never wanted to kill Denji. She never wanted to destroy him. She wanted to own him. Makima reveals the truth. She is the control devil, a being who does not love, does not care, and sees everything beneath her as a tool. Every moment in Denji's life, the fights, the tragedies, the fleeting happiness, was orchestrated by her. She gave him food, a home, friends, even a family, just to take it all away and leave him with nothing. Denji is now completely under her control. Denji, mentally shattered, makes a fateful request. I don't want to think anymore. Just treat me like one of your dogs. Makima smiles. She orders him to roll over. He obeys. She tells him to give paw. He obeys. And when she pets him on the head for a brief moment, Denji feels at peace. But Makima isn't finished. She needs to make sure Denji truly belongs to her, that there is no part of him left that resists. So she takes the final step. Makima invites Power over to Denji's apartment, telling him to open the door. Denji hesitates, because he's seen this before. For weeks in his nightmares, Pochita has warned him about the door. Don't open it. But Denji obeys Makima. He opens the door, and standing there is Power, holding a birthday cake for Denji, completely unaware of what's about to happen. She doesn't even get to react. Makima raises her finger, points at Power and says, "Bang!" Power's torso is obliterated in an instant. Denji stands frozen, watching her severed head hit the floor, her blood soaking the ground, her arms falling limply beside her. Makima takes Denji's hands in hers, smiles and tells him, "They're cold." Denji tries to say something, tries to process what just happened, but no words come out. Makima laughs. At this moment, Denji is truly gone. Denji shuts down completely, falling into a state of pure submission. This is when Makima forces him to do something he has spent his entire life avoiding. She makes him open the final door, the one hiding his deepest trauma. Denji remembers the truth. The Yakuza covered it up, forcing Denji to forget, making him believe the lie. But now with that memory returned, Makima twists the knife deeper. See? You never deserved a normal life. You never deserved happiness. You were always meant to be mine. Denji accepts it. With Denji now nothing more than a hollow shell, Makima calls forth what she truly desires. Makima summons the true Chainsaw Man, a being of pure mindless destruction. Denji is gone. What emerges is Chainsaw Man in his full devil form, larger, stronger, covered in extra chainsaws, with burning hellfire dripping from his body. Makima watches in awe. She doesn't see him as a threat. She doesn't see him as a weapon. She sees him as a god. And as his fan, she wants to test him. Makima unleashes her army of hybrid devils to challenge Chainsaw Man. Makima does not order them to kill him. She orders them to fight him again and again, because she wants to see him in action. She doesn't want to control Chainsaw Man. She wants to admire him. She's his biggest fan, and she wants to see her favorite star shine. But Chainsaw Man is not just powerful. Chainsaw Man is not fighting for survival. He is not fighting for revenge. He is fighting because that is all he knows. And Makima watches, smiling as her perfect monster delivers a masterpiece of destruction. Makima has no intention of stopping Chainsaw Man. She doesn't want him to be tamed. She wants to see him consume the world, because Chainsaw Man is the only being in existence that terrifies even devils themselves. And Makima loves him for that. She doesn't just respect him. She doesn't just admire him. She worships him. Her ultimate goal is not world domination. It's to witness Chainsaw Man in his purest, most destructive form. But what she doesn't realize is that Chainsaw Man is not completely gone. Because deep inside this monster, hidden beneath the raging chainsaws and infernal destruction, a tiny part of Denji is still there. And when the time comes, that part of him will be Makima's undoing. Makima believes she has won. Chainsaw Man, the terrifying force of destruction, the legendary hero of hell, has fallen. She stands over his motionless body, victorious. But in a final genius act of deception, Denji tricks her. She was never fighting Chainsaw Man. She was fighting a decoy, a part of Chainsaw Man that Denji had separated from himself. Makima, so obsessed with Chainsaw Man, never once perceived Denji as an individual. To her, he was never a threat. And that's why she loses. At that moment, Denji attacks. Not as Chainsaw Man, but as himself. The very thing Makima overlooked becomes her downfall. With one precise strike, Denji mortally wounds Makima, but he doesn't finish her off immediately. He knows that Makima cannot be killed by conventional means. Her contract with the Prime Minister of Japan ensures that any fatal wound she receives is transferred to a random Japanese citizen instead. So Denji does something unthinkable. Instead of trying to kill her outright, he eats her. Makima, who had spent her entire life controlling others, is now completely helpless. She doesn't fight back. She doesn't beg. She doesn't even resist. Because in her final moments, she still doesn't see Denji as a threat. And that's why she loses. Makima, the all-powerful control devil, the mastermind behind every tragedy in Denji's life, the unshakable force of authority, is gone. But to end the cycle of control once and for all, he refuses to let Makima be resurrected to continue manipulating the world like a god. So he consumes her completely until there is nothing left. And with that, Denji finally frees himself from her grasp. But the control devil doesn't disappear. Not entirely. Shortly after Makima's death, the control devil is reincarnated. Not as a woman, not as a ruler, but as a child. A young girl found in China. Her name? Nayuta. She has Makima's eyes, those eerie, target-like spirals that once instilled fear in all who saw them. But this time, she is innocent. She is not yet corrupted by power, not yet the monster that Makima became. And here, Denji faces his greatest choice. Makima was never meant to be evil. She was simply a being who only understood relationships through control and fear. But what if she had been raised differently? What if someone had loved her? Not as a weapon, not as a god, but as a normal person. Denji, a boy who once had nothing, now has the power to change someone's future. So he makes a decision. He will raise Nayuta himself, not as a master, not as a pet, not as a tool, but as family. With Makima gone, Denji's life enters a new phase. He now lives a normal life, taking care of Nayuta, while also attending high school. But normalcy doesn't mean peace, because Denji is still Chainsaw Man, and when danger comes knocking, he will answer with his chainsaws. Makima wanted to control the world. Denji? He just wanted to eat good food and watch bad movies. And in the end, his simple human desires defeated the godlike ambition of the control devil. Denji's victory isn't just about killing Makima. It's about choosing his own path, choosing love over control, choosing humanity over power. And that's what makes Chainsaw Man's ending so unforgettable. Chainsaw Man Season 2 is going to be an emotional roller coaster. The action will be brutal, the betrayals will hurt, and the psychological horror of Makima's control will be unforgettable. But through all of it, Denji's journey continues. As the season closes, Denji begins a new life, a high school student by day, a devil hunter by night, but trouble is never far away. And with part 2 of the manga already ongoing, the future of Chainsaw Man is brighter and bloodier than ever. Are you ready for the madness of Season 2? Let us know what moment you're most excited for.